Heather, how are you?
I'm doing great.
I have an 1861 coin that my grandfather gave to me before he passed away.
Okay. Yeah, it's an 1861 half eagle. It's definitely cool, man. You have to realize it was finally that period we were getting away from all these foreign coins. Believe it or not, up through the 1860s, we were still using like English coins, Spanish coins, also.
All right, dude, it's an old coin. Quit touching it. There's a black thing down there. Put it on that.
Okay.
I brought down an 1861 coin that my grandfather gave to me. He said that it had some value. He said, always keep it. I need some home improvements done, and I'm just hoping for the best at this point.
Oh, this is cool. You know why they call it a half eagle?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, it's a $5 gold piece, and our standard gold coin was the eagle. That's what everyone called it, and that was a $10 gold piece.
Oh, okay.
The incredible cool thing is, generally, you never see one with a C on the back of it.
What's the C?
Okay. Normally, there's nothing there. That means it was from the Philadelphia Mint, where that's where we made most of our coins during this time period. But believe it or not, for a while, there was a mint in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Oh, really?
Okay? It's a neat American coin. You know why we have a mint in Charlotte, North Carolina?
Nope.
It's because there was the Carolina Gold Rush. The gold was there, and we could strike the coins there. So if it's real, this is worth a lot more than a Philadelphia coin, since it's from Charlotte. Comparatively, it is much, much more rare. You have to understand, this was during the Civil War. And when countries like England got these coins from selling supplies like guns to the United States, a lot of the times they would melt them down and reuse the gold for their own coins. And that's one of the reasons why so few of these coins exist anymore. So how much did you want for it?
To be honest with you, I'm not sure.
This is one of the most counterfeited coins.
Oh.
It's got right around $350 worth of gold in it. You take a $350 hunk of gold, turn it to a $10,000 coin, makes...
Pretty profitable, yeah.
Do you want me to get Mike?
Yeah, go ahead and get him.
Who's Mike?
He's the guy who handles all my coins here. He knows a little bit more than me, just a little bit.
Oh, okay.
What's up, Rick?
1861 Charlotte.
That's a rare one. 1861 Philadelphia. There was over 700,000 of those. We're talking $500–600. With a C, we're talking a whole lot more. 20 times as much.
That's good news. It's
Yes.
great news.
Yes, absolutely.
So this is a rare find, then?
Well, that's if it's real.
Okay.
So, if you don't mind, I'd like to take a look at the mint mark and...
No, absolutely.
Okay.
What are you looking for exactly?
I'm just looking at the letter C and seeing if it is consistent with the rest of the coin. With the C added on, you would actually see markings that someone might have added something to the coin.
So you start looking for really sharp lines, like on the side of a letter or something like that. Counterfeiters don't have super expensive, coin-making machines. So what they do is they cast them. You'll see little imperfections all over the place from the casting that wouldn't be there from the stamping.
How's it look?
After looking at it, yes, I believe that it is a authentic Charlotte minted coin.
That's awesome, awesome news.
So what's it worth?
In this condition, I would say on a good day, you could get about 15,000 for this coin.
15? So me having this in my pocket earlier was not a good thing then?
Not so much.
Duly noted.
All right, beat it, Mike.
Hey, nice to meet you.
No, hey, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Good luck, guys. It's really cool this coin turned out to be authentic. The guy seemed really happy, and he should be.
Wow, so what do you want to do?
7,500 bucks.
No, 12, I think you'll do just fine.
I still have to send this off. Things can pop up when I send it off. They can give it a weird grading because they might say it's been cleaned.
Okay.
I end up assuming all the risk.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's somewhat split the difference. About 95.
I'll go $8 grand, not a penny more.
Well, I'm good. 8 grand.
All right.
Good doing business.
Come on, man, I'll write you up.
You got it. All right, thank you. I was very excited when I heard the value of this coin. Very happy with the 8 grand. This is really gonna help me in finishing my home remodel.
What do we got?
I have something really unique to show you today.
It's a 17th century powder flask. If I understood it, it's for a dueling pistol.
This is really neat. We have the fer de lys. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. That would make it French. Fer de lis, fer de leg,
Fleur de lis.
whatever.
I have a 17th century powder flask. It's ivory, and I think it's from France. My dad made black powder guns for a living, so he collected a lot of things around that world. I want to get $20,000 for the gunpowder flask.
Okay, that is definitely cool. Do you know much about it?
Well, it's a 17th century powder flask. You know, I always pictured this really famous guy that won a lot of duels, and that was his powder flask.
I think it's more jewelry than it is actually used for a gun.
Oh.
A really, really rich dude had this. Guys like that, they never used this. There was nothing to do if you were rich, okay? If you were poor, you woke up in the morning, you went to work, and then by the time you got home, you collapsed and did it again the next day. You worked like a dog all day long. Now, if you were super rich, it's not like you went and go, well, here today I'm gonna get my sports car, today I'm gonna get my Harley. Maybe we'll go to the lake and get on the jet ski. There was none of that. So back then, what they did was they got dressed up and went to fancy parties. This would hang on a guy's belt.
So this is more form over function.
Oh yeah, this was dressing up.
Oh.
This is ivory. That is bone in there. That was pretty common because what they used to do with ivory a lot is like the background and stuff like that you couldn't see that well. They would put bone in there because it was a lot cheaper than ivory.
Oh.
Whoever made this, he was good. You see how he inlaid this with gold, and this is one bluing technique where you get that color, a different bluing technique where you get that color, and a third one there. Bluing was an art, and the color of the bluing was dependent upon the temperature of the metal, the oils you were using, and everything else like that. Now, how old it is, that's debatable. Is there any markings on it anywhere?
Nothing that really gives it a date or a timestamp, but if you look at the guy on the front, he kind of addresses the 17th century, and my dad always said it was from that era, so.
Okay. You know, today you can go out and buy things with George Washington's picture on it. That doesn't give it a date.
But were they made of ivory today?
There was no problem getting ivory up to like 30 years ago, so. How much are you gonna get out of this?
$20,000 is fair for something this age, this ornate.
Let me just call someone up. Someone's gonna know a lot more than I am. They're gonna know about the value better. But I have a friend who will know everything.
Yeah, that works.
So hang out 15 minutes, and I'll be right back.
Sounds good. Really looking forward to the expert getting a look at this gunpowder flask. I think he's gonna probably say it's worth a lot more than I'm asking.
Here it is. Wow. It's old. Exactly how old, I don't know.
The detail is stunning. The fleur-de-lis puts it absolutely French and also somehow related to the monarchy because of the crown. And that was not done lightly. This is somebody who has permission or is somehow associated with the crown. You didn't just decide you wanted a priming flask and throw the crown on there. But on the other side, this is very clearly King Henry II. So King Henry II died in 1559.
Oh.
But it's not that old. What I think this is a tribute to King Henry II. Now, Henry II was a really popular king at the time because he was an avid hunter and an outdoorsman, and he was always celebrated by French kings going on, most notably Louis XIV, the Sun King, the man who built Versailles. I do think that it would have belonged to one of his courtiers.
Okay, that is definitely cool.
The French court was notorious for its competition. Status was everything, and part of what helped you attain status were high-priced accessories. This would have been one of the finest pieces of craftsmanship you could have purchased. These two hooks here would have connected to some type of fancy lanyard that went around the courtier's neck and under their arm, and it would have hung there. And you can see this is something to other people to be envious of. Almost like today a man wears an expensive watch.
So what do you think it's worth?
It's in exquisite condition. My best guess is that at the right auction, $20,000.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Thanks, appreciate that.
Good luck. A 17th century ivory primer flask would be valued by collectors not just of militaria, but also of art. So you really got the best of both worlds.
It's a great piece of history. It really is.
I mean, what's your best price on it?
You heard the man, $20,000 seems like a pretty fair price.
$20,000 in the right auction, or I pay you 10 grand. You walk away with the money, I take all the risk.
What about 15,000?
I'll give you 11 grand for it.
Ah, it's hard. Could you do 12?
All right, 12,000, we got a deal.
Thank you.
All right, I'll meet you right over there.
Thank you.
So instead of a powder flask, it was like a man purse thing?
I just got a call from my art expert, Brett. He said something amazing just walked into his shop. It's not the kind of thing he buys, but he promised me I would love it. So I'm going to Brett's gallery to check it out.
Thanks for coming down. This is the gentleman I wanted you to meet, Ron Raffelli.
How's it going?
How do you do?
So what do we got here?
Ron came in with these vintage Jimi Hendrix photographs, and we're not really dealing much with photography, but I know you're a Hendrix fan, so I had to have you come down here and see some of his pieces, which I think are fantastic.
I've just never seen pictures of Jimi Hendrix like this. Never. How in the world did you get photos like this?
I was Jimmy's photographer.
Seriously?
That's why I'm all gray. I was looking to start marketing my archive, and this film that I had of Jimi Hendrix had never been seen. I kept them for myself for too long. It's time that people see Jimi Hendrix for who he really was.
How did you get a gig being Jimi Hendrix's photographer?
I went on an audition, and he chose me as his photographer, basically to document his American tour. I become basically a member of the band. These have been in my archive for the last 40 years.
Okay. One of the things I find most amazing about Jimi Hendrix is he was only on the American rock scene for 2 years, and that 2 years changed rock and roll for the next 40 years.
Eric Clapton told me when he first heard Jimi Hendrix play that he thought he was going to put them all out of business. That he would be selling shoes in a month.
Jimi Hendrix did things on a guitar that a lot of people never thought were possible. And since he died so young, his memorabilia is huge. So a bunch of never-before-seen photos would drive some collectors nuts. So what do you think about these?
I think they're great. You were really part of his inner sanctum, and I think that really shows through in the photographs. They don't have the whole persona. Jimmy's not a rock god. He's kind of unveiled.
All right, so these are all from the original negatives and the...
Yeah, I mean, they look to be from the original negative to me, and I don't recognize any of these images of this having ever been published.
I buy a lot of stuff, but what surprises a lot of people, I buy fine art too. It can be tough in a recession, but with the right pictures at the right price, I can make a buck or two. So why are you releasing them now?
I have been reborn, and I've taken all my old material, and I wanted to show Jimmy the way he should be shown and in the quality that he deserves to be presented in. Nobody had the access that I had. I've captured Jimmy, and he's in these pictures. You haven't even seen the most amazing shots yet.
There's more? That's incredible.
That was a real spider. I almost walked into it coming back from another shoot. I jumped back because I'm scared to death of spiders. And Jimmy said, "I'm not afraid, I'll take a picture with it." I said, "Okay, put your face up there." And he put his face up there. I focused on the spider, and there it is.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. What I would really like to do is be able to put a lot of these in my store. I mean, I think they would sell like hotcakes. So if you don't mind, I'd really like to make a pile of ones I'd like to buy right now.
Well, by all means.
I'm gonna pick out a stack of what I think are the best images and make him an offer. Art is like anything else. It's always cheaper when you buy in bulk. So Brett, this is sort of where I need your help. What do you think photos like this would go for?
Do you mind if I ask you a few questions, Ron?
Certainly.
Okay. Now, you haven't marketed any of these shots, ever.
That's right.
Okay. Are they a limited edition, or are they an open edition, or do you know?
It's an open edition signed prints.
Signed prints, and they're archival quality. You supervise everything.
I do it myself.
You do everything. Okay, very good. Do you have like a certificate of authenticity that you're doing that documents the process? Very good, right there.
Okay.
But I could see a piece like this, you know, nicely framed, maybe even a little placard kind of documenting the concert, that type of thing, selling $1,200 to $1,500.
Okay.
But I think they'll continue to go up over time.
And these ones right here?
The smaller ones, less so, maybe in the, the $700, $800 range, I would say, but still very collectible. Vintage photography is very big right now, especially when you're talking about photographs of icons like Jimi Hendrix.
I got 28 photos here. Normally, what galleries do is they take things on consignment and they generally get a really large discount. I'm not really asking for that. It's just not the way I like to do business.
Make me an offer.
I'll tell you what, I'll give you, for this pile right here, I'll give you $10,000.
I can't accept $10,000 for these. They're worth at least 20.
I mean, by the time he frames them, I put them on the wall. I mean, they take up real estate in my store. I'm gonna have to take other things down. What about 12?
Nobody's seen them. They're unpublished. 18.
This is some incredible stuff, but I'm taking all the risk here because you haven't been published before. I'm really seeing like 14,000.
It's my heart and soul. Come on. We're gonna make a fortune.
$15.
Got a deal.
All right, thanks a lot, Brett. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Look forward to seeing these in the shop.
I'm really excited we were able to make a deal. I think I can make a serious profit once people realize what I have.
So I have a customer in the store with a painting that he says is painted by René Magritte. This thing actually might be real. So I've called in my art guy. I'm gonna have him take a look. And I got my fingers crossed. Chad, how's it going?
Good to see you, sir.
Here we go.
Wow, René Magritte. It's an amazing painting. First off, René Magritte was one of the founders of the Surrealist movement, like Dali. Very dreamlike, very weird. He's from Belgium. From there, he went to Paris. You know, it's the 20s in the Paris. This is the place to be. He hooks up with Picasso. At that point, he's not doing very well at all. He starts doing a lot of knockoffs. He knocks off
Forgeries. That's the nice word.
All right, forgeries. He knocks off mainly Picasso. So there's a lot of people in the world with a Picasso that's fake, but it's a real Magritte.
Okay.
Which is ironic because really they're very similar. The price structure now is very, very close.
So how do you feel about it?
It looks very good. This is a very early painting. You can tell just by the smoke damage that's on it. Very typical of that time, everybody smoked. This hung for a very long time somewhere. The painting style is very, very him. The signature is perfect, but it's always a risk. Forgers aren't stupid.
So what do you think?
The bad news is my opinion means nothing. The only opinion that matters is the René Magritte Committee in Belgium. You have to take it unframed to Belgium, but you have to get the authentication.
So what's it worth?
So this painting has two states of being. One state of being, it's worth nothing. The other state of being, this is a $700,000 to $800,000 painting. But the market is moving very, very quickly. A piece that was worth $800,000 20 years ago is worth $3.8 million now.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Hey, thanks a lot. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Thanks.
Okay, so we have a little bit of conundrum here.
Yeah.
All right, there's a few different things I could do for you. I'll give you 10 grand and I'll take all the risks. Or I will spend all my money, I'll take it to Belgium, I'll do everything for it. If it turns out it's real, I'll give you 400 grand.
That's a really tough choice.
I'm straight up gambling here, and if it's fake, I lose all the money.
I think I'll do the 10 grand.
We got a deal.
Thanks.
I'll meet you right over there. We'll do some paperwork.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
I hope I didn't screw up. Chum and I are here in Belgium, waiting on the verdict from the Magritte. Hopefully, they'll verify it as real.
This is the moment you've been waiting for.
I've been contacted by the Magritte committee. They've come up with a decision. They've told me I can come and pick it up, along with the paperwork saying whether it's real or fake. This could go down in the annals of pawn shop history as the best buy ever.
Oh my God, that took forever. Is it real?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
There was like a clerk in there, and I showed him my ID. They hand me this. They hand me a letter. I'm gonna go sit down in the park and read this letter. Carry this. The business I'm in, you hear about somebody finding something amazing in their attic, going to a flea market and buying something that turns out to be a fortune.
All right, Rick, you ready to see what $10 million looks like one more time?
All right. And I work in a business where that can definitely happen. Dear Richard Harrison, the committee met yesterday and is of the opinion that the work presented is not a work by René Magritte. Thank you.
So what do you think that means?
That means it's not real.
Well, I had my doubts, Rick. Would you like me to point them out to you?
Not funny. It sucks losing $10,000, but it's been a great ride. And in my business, you gotta take risks sometimes. I took a risk, and it didn't work out for me.
I'll give you $100 for it.
No.